All right, looks like we're starting up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Awesemo.com Live Before Lock Show, where we'll be taking you through the 14-game slate of MLB action that we have ahead of us. A little appetizer for a weekend of football. I'm Chris Spags, joined by the baseball savant, Jake Hari. Jake, how are you doing on this fine Friday of ours?
Doing well. Yeah, I'm excited to play some MLB. After you get a win last night, it's always nice to come back the next day and try to donate back some. So, it's.
Oh,
What's that?
What did you take down last night?
Oh, I didn't take down anything. I just had a couple really nice cashes. So no tournament bigs or anything. But yeah, TGIF, Jason Kelly. Although I'm not off tomorrow, so I'll still be grinding tomorrow. Me and EMAC will be on the show at some point early afternoon on the East Coast. Late morning if you are a West Coaster or Central Time probably. But yeah, we'll still have content for you guys tomorrow if you guys that are still playing baseball.
In fact, it'll be a big weekend of content because we will also have shows on Sunday. We'll have Laffy and was it Laffy and Ben? I always forget who the other guy is who's going to be on Sunday. Laffy and Ben, I think, are going to be doing a show before Josh and I go live at 12 p.m. Eastern. On Sunday, we'll be doing a little NFL Live Before Lock. We'll be here breaking down everything. How do you think of the game last night, Jake? Did you watch?
I did. I wish I didn't.
It was ugly.
God,
it was an ugly one.
I was so pumped. I was like, oh, maybe we'll see a good game. No, just I did order Red Zone, though. Did I tell you that? Was that on?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I got Red Zone. I live with 5 guys, so we're just going to hunker down and watch some Red Zone on Sundays. It's going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think I'm doing the piracy route, I think, for my NFL watching this year. It was just going to, it's so much. It's like $400 if you're going to do, the whole DirecTV package. And then for AT&T Uverse, you also have to upgrade your package. And I'm already on, a pretty high package. I have to fucking upgrade it again to get to NFL Red Zone. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Got to watch the game somehow, but we'll see. I might get tempted out of not being an illegal pirate like certain chubsters on this channel might be. But we'll see. But we got baseball today. What are we doing baseball-wise for you with your pitchers, Jake? What are you coming up with in your crunches thus far?
Yeah, so kind of the same guys we were talking about. Let's see if Fantasy Cruncher can come through with all the stuff I got running. I closed a bunch of tabs before in preparation. We're still moving a little bit slow, but here, I'll go to my last crunch right now. Yeah, so it's the 3 guys I wrote up early this morning or late last night. Snell, Archer, Pena. Got some Bassett, but he's and he's not starting now, so he's not that great.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna lower my exposure to Bassett. I'm mixing in all these low tier guys, so Bassett, one of them, Phil Meyer, Steven Gonsalves, who am I forgetting? Daniel Norris too. Adam talked about him quite a bit. So I'm kind of on the same page with him, about 10%. Maybe that's going to go up a little bit after I crunch one last time to get less Bassett. And then just kind of a mixture of guys like Corbin and Carrasco that in Paxton too. But I'm way under the field on those guys, it looks like.
Yeah, I wanted to get more into Norris just because I think he's got an okay price, and it does seem like his numbers have kind of taken a move in the right direction with getting swinging strikes. His K rate's been up a little bit higher. But that matched up with St. Louis. St. Louis has been really good lately, pretty much across the board. So that kind of spooked me off of Norris, especially given the fact that even though he's been getting a better chase rate, his xFIP has dropped. His fly ball rate's still 57%. His hard contact rate over the last couple of weeks has been 71.4%. So, Norris was a guy who I really wanted to fall in love with, didn't quite get there. I am with you a little on the Phil Meyer move. Not so much on Gonsalves. I know Laffy and Adam, and I think Adam in particular was talking before we came on the deeper dive about how he wanted to go with Gonsalves. I don't see it for Gonsalves really at all. If anything, I looked at him and I really wanted to kind of talk myself into him because I love a good, cheap, panning for gold type pitcher. And ended up getting more into Kansas City than I did Gonsalves. He doesn't seem like a major league caliber pitcher to me.
That's fair. He hasn't been so far. He hasn't had a start that he's gone positive points on DK yet. So there's that. And, it's a really good matchup against KC. They've been awful against lefties. So, I don't know. Things are lining up where he should be able to get positive points tonight. You're going to need a little bit more than that. But, I mean, if he can get you to, at this price, if he gets you 12 to 15, you're loving that. Like, you take that every time for 4K or whatever he is, 4,300. So, yeah, I mean, there's appeal. I know he's not great, but sometimes you just got to play the guy that makes it work, and he's doing that in a lot of my lineups for me.
Where are you landing on the Chris Archer chalk going against the Marlins? A Marlins lineup who's, I think, been hitting better, at least hitting better than they have earlier in the year for the most part. Archer, obviously, kind of an up and down pitcher, but he is projected by our ownership projections on Osmo.com, which are available for premium members right now. He's projected to get a little under 30% ownership. Still a great value, but how are you feeling about Archer?
Yeah, I like Archer a lot. And I was expecting to see a bunch of righties and then even more righties than I expected. So there's 7 of them in this lineup. He's going to get 7 in a row. Or no, 6 in a row. And then pitcher spot after Magnus, or whatever his name is, Sierra. So it's just such a good matchup. I'm not a big Archer guy, but at this price and against this many righties and at home as a minus 205 favorite, decent pitching weather, yeah, it's just too good for me to just say I'm just fading him because of ownership.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Also, just to note, we will give our home run picks at 6:30 Eastern, but Josh, the Chubster, is probably heading out because he has been working like a dog this entire week. But his pick is in, Marcell Ozuna, a fine pick going against Mr. Daniel Norris. So cool. That's here we go.
All right, see you, Josh. Enjoy Josh. Your time off. Enjoy your time off.
Enjoy your 12 hours or so that you get to be a human being, Josh. We'll be back on Sunday morning doing more stuff. But yeah, I think overall the pitching options tonight, not super stirring, so I can get why people would go for Archer. How about James Paxton, another guy who's got a lot of ownership despite a matchup with the Yankees? Obviously, the Yankees, a known good hitting team, but people not afraid of Paxton tonight based on our ownership projections. What are you doing with James Paxton?
I like Paxton as a pitcher, but I mean, you're getting a little bit of a discount on him, but it's not like he's free. He's almost 10K, and the Yankees are somewhat healthy. You got Gleiber in the 7th spot. Gregorius coming back. He doesn't really strike out that much, or at least he makes it difficult to strike him out. We know Voit can hit lefties, and then you've obviously got Stanton, Hicks, McCutchen. That's really tough. So at what amounts to be pretty chalky, and not that cheap either, I'm kind of off Paxton. I have, let's see.
Yeah, I've got a couple Paxtons because he works price-wise, and obviously the upside, given his strikeout ability and the Yankees, general. I mean, this particular lineup is not super strikeout heavy, but a lot of other ones. What the fuck? Who is calling? Sorry, guys. I don't know. It's a no call or a D. I'm sure it's a very worthwhile call that is calling while doing the one thing I have to do every day. But yeah, no, the Yankees to me, I think, are good enough hitters. I think there is some upside with Paxton there, just given his ability. But yeah, I didn't really want to go on either side of that. I think the Yankees are going to kind of do enough to hurt Paxton's day, and Paxton's going to do enough to hurt the Yankees' day, and it's probably mostly a stay away spot for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at too. I don't think I'm like going out of my way to stack against him or anything. I don't think that's necessary in a big slate like this. But I do have Stanton shares, I have McCutchen shares, I have Aaron Hicks shares. So I just think he could run into trouble here. How many pitches did he throw in his last start?
I don't have the number.
Okay, it was 98. Okay, I'm thinking of someone else. But I mean, if you think he can get you another 10 strikeouts, even if he does what he did last time, or whatever, he trades an inning for one less strikeout or whatever, I still don't think he's going to kill me. 25 points. He would have to get well over 30 for him to make me mad about fading him here.
Yep, no, I agree with you there. I think Paxton, a great pitcher, but not a guy who I think at over 20% ownership makes a lot of sense on the slate. How about another guy I think you've talked about a fair amount today, Blake Snell. He's the top price pitcher, at least on DraftKings. Has a pretty good matchup versus Baltimore. What's your ownership looking like on him?
Yeah, I love Blake Snell. I mean, if I could fit him into every lineup tonight, I would. He's like, we've been waiting for this for like a couple years, and he's arrived, and he's just mowing down everyone on good teams like Boston and Cleveland. I mean, maybe not mowing down, but just pitching really well against them. He pitches better at home. It's obviously a great pitcher's park. It's Baltimore, one of the worst teams, and I know Baltimore has been better as of late, but you look at them on the road against lefties for like the season, and they're just awful. They strike out a ton. They don't hit for a lot of power. 2.6 run total. That's one of the lowest we've seen this entire year. I just love Snell here. I wish I could fit him in every lineup, but obviously can't.
Yeah, I think Snell is a tough price point for me to get there. I don't think I have a ton of him. I just really couldn't afford him with the stacks that I like the most, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But some of them, even the ones that aren't super high priced, I just felt like it was hard to get to Snell. I think as much as I could get up to was Aaron Nola, who I'm sure we'll talk about in a second as well. But I like Nola a lot. I think Snell, though, would be a better play. I'd be very into him, but I just couldn't get there price-wise on this slate. Maybe just didn't get creative enough with my stacks, but I don't know. Let's talk a little bit more stacks. We'll go back to pitchers in a little bit, but what are your top stacks for the day so far?
Yeah, all right, so let's see here. So again, I have one more crunch to do, but Oakland I love. I have Daniel Norris, I have St. Louis a bunch as well. I think, like I said this morning to Josh, I think it goes one of two ways. Norris is either striking guys out and he limits them in 5 or 6 innings, or he just gets completely crushed and there's a ton of balls in play. So that's why I have St. Louis stacks. I'm on Boston, Houston. Both sides of that game I think are going to be super low owned. I'm off both of the pitchers. Love the hitting in that game. And then the Dodgers against John Gray. These lineups are going to get me different, or these teams are going to get me different lineup construction just naturally because they're so expensive. I like Pittsburgh a lot against Dan Straley, the lefties especially. And then I do have some Tampa Bay against Bundy. And then the rest of my stacks are just a few shares of Milwaukee, Chicago, and Washington. Have you heard a weather update for that, by the way? The Washington-Chicago game?
I have not. I'm not playing Washington, but I think I do have some exposure on the other side. Let's see. Anything? Where are you, Nationals? Yeah, still yellow, but I don't know. I've been playing it straight for the most part. And again, that's stacked too. For me, the Cubs are my top stack of the day. I think Joe Ross is a very winnable matchup for them, and they've been hitting particularly well as well. So it's sort of the convergence of those points. I'm playing it as though the game's going to occur. I guess the wind blowing in doesn't look great. Stonemer, Washington to cause a late start. It's clearing, according to Mevin Toth. Well, we'll find out because I have way too much Cubs.
Yeah, gonna be fun, right?
Hopefully it plays because boy, oh boy, did I not heed that weather update. Yeah, no, I love the Cubs tonight. My home run pick was going to be a Cub, but now might not be. I think they look really good. I think your boy Rizzo looks good. I think everybody on that side going against Joe Ross. Joe Ross's stuff has not been great thus far, giving up a lot of home runs as well to both sides of the plate. So if that game goes, I still think it's a good game, and I'm, at this point, I'm just going to play it straight, I guess, like it is going. Damn. What are you doing with that one, Jake?
I'm playing it right now. That's why I kind of asked you. I thought maybe you had kept a closer eye on the weather, but yeah.
Apparently not.
It's just like I should pull this map up by myself and kind of make the call. I don't have enough shares where I'm like really going to tilt it if it gets postponed. I do think it's a good spot for both sides. I mean, I love stacking against Leicester as much as anyone, and they're going to, Washington's going to be virtually unowned. And the Cubs will probably be pretty low owned too. It's a 14-game slate. People can find other spots. Even though I'm not in love with a lot of other spots, I agree with you. It's a very winnable matchup against Ross. So right now I'm keeping my shares in. I don't have enough where it's going to make a huge difference if the game were to get postponed. And I don't have any exposure to the pitchers. So probably just going to leave it unless it looks really bad in the next 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just going to leave it. I mean, I have a fair amount, but I'm not playing a crazy amount of volume tonight. So I think I'm just going to ride it out. Honestly, usually I feel like I get scared off by these weather things. So today, fuck it, I'll go opposite George Costanza mode and just hope for the best and just play it. But I think the matchup just looks so good. You go down Murphy, Baez, Rizzo. I think if you think Bryant can get back on track, he's been getting close. Schwarber too, even Happ down at the 9 spot, I think is a good rack brown stack. Yeah, that matchup looks really good if it plays. So I do love the Cubs there. Also love Cleveland tonight a little bit, especially Lindor, obviously coming off a pretty big 2-home run day that you needed to own him yesterday on that terrible 3-game slate that we had. But I think he's in another really good spot tonight to carry that over. And also Kipnis too. I think Kipnis responded well to being in the number 2 spot. I like him there too. So that's one of my other top stacks. Who else do I have? Definitely a lot of Cubs, though. Definitely a concerning amount of Cubs.
So here's what I'm doing with the Cubs and the Nationals. I am taking them out for my 2-man stacks. I'm leaving them in for full stacks. So if it doesn't play, whatever. Those are dead lineups. My Cubs and Nationals full stacks are dead lineups. That's fine. If it does play and the game goes off, I've got full stacks of it. So I'm hoping, I'm not trying to ruin a lineup by having 1 or 2 zeros in it. I've taken that risk before. I don't think it's worth it on a 14-game slate. So I'm running 5-2-1s. I'm taking them out for my 2s. I'm probably going to go through my lineups and take them out as one-offs as well. Like any Trey Turner I get, or Harper or Soto, or Rendon, any of these guys, I'm probably going to just eliminate as one-offs as well.
All right, there we go. So we'll keep an eye on the weather as we go. Hopefully we'll get updates. If you guys see anything in the chat, definitely drop it in there. We are a crowdsourced weather operation that we have here. We try to figure it out as a team the best we can. So yeah, we'll see what we're doing. But I'm playing Cubs, I guess. What about another high scoring, or at least a projected implied total for Oakland? What are you doing with the Texas and Oakland game? You mentioned Bassett before. Are you stacking up the A's? Because I ended up, not deliberately necessarily, but I ended up fading the A's for the most part.
Yeah, I love the A's. What's not to like? Yovani Gallardo is going to let him put the ball in play. I guess the one thing I don't like is the park they play in, but you don't always have to get it done with home runs. Not that these guys can't, but because I love Matt Olson, I love Chris Davis especially. Chris Davis is one of my highest owned, if not my highest owned player right now, and he's going to end up that way. I just think he's such a good one-off. But anyways, Gallardo not going to fool anyone. It's just a matter of whether or not you're squaring him up. And I think this Oakland team is really tough as of late against righties, against lefties. It doesn't really matter. And then that Texas bullpen is subpar to say the least. So it all adds up to a 5-run total.
I train my brain to not go against Gallardo every time, because to me he jumped off the page as a guy pretty much every time he started initially in the year as being a guy I want to go against, and it kind of didn't work out for me. So I think I just kind of always see him and glaze over a little, where even if the team total's there, especially in Oakland, I don't know. I just didn't want to get there. I do a little bit of Bassett, but I also have some Texas stacks. I think Bassett's a pretty high volatility play, along with the opener situation as well. So yeah, I don't love the game. I kind of ended up mostly avoiding Oakland and then just going to Texas, but I see your points. I think they're pretty valid as well. It's 6:30 Eastern. Let's do our home run picks. We are locked into a real tight competition here, in which I think I'm just down 1 home run now because we are counting the Monday one. So it is a neck and neck game. Josh, the Chubster, has Marcell Ozuna. That's already been put in the books. Who are you going to go with, Jake?
Give me a guy we just talked about. He's been good to me lately. So give me Chris Davis with a K.
Oh, all right. Going back to your 2-in-a-row guy. Let's see. I am going with a guy who I have in a lot of lineups, and I don't know that it's the right choice, but going against Derek Holland, actually, you know what? I shouldn't be a hero. I was going to go Manny Pena, but I think that's too far down the order. I'm going to go Lorenzo Cain. At least he's hitting leadoff. He's low-owned enough.
I like that. I think, probably would have been like Braun or Kane or Aguilar. I was really looking at Derek Holland. I think he's a really good home run target outside of AT&T. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you get a nice little Miller Park matchup there for him. So hopefully Lorenzo Cain comes through and pulls me even with the baseball savant, because we are down to the wire. We only have like 3 weeks of this left.
I know, right? Feels like it was just a few days ago we started doing this show, and my first show you got kicked off the live stream somehow, and I was there drowning by myself. It was great.
That's right. That was a bad one. It's happened a few times. We persevere. Yeah, it's funny how time flies when you're in the same place every single day doing the same thing.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Ramon Liriano leading off.
No.
I mean, I had him in my crunch, but I didn't realize he was hitting first. I walked away from my computer for a few minutes before we started this. So, that's even better. I like that guy. He's got some power for sure.
Yeah, great fielder too. I like Laureano. I think him being in the leadoff spot definitely is an improvement for that lineup. But still no Oakland for me. Just riding out the shitty weather and not playing the team with one of the best totals on the slate. That's my approach for the day.
Yeah, of course. Got to do that on a 14-gamer.
That's how we're contrarian views, Jake. That's what I'm offering up here. Let's go back to pitchers, because I think one pitcher we didn't talk about as much, but the deeper dive guys talked about at length, who is a guy who I happen to be on as well, pretty much the same time that they were talking about it on their stream. Steven Matz, I like a lot, going against a Phillies team that's pretty cold besides Cabrera for the most part. How do you feel about Matz tonight?
Yeah, I like it. He's a guy that I've hated all year, but he just looks better since returning from injury. He's getting a ton of swinging strikes. The chases aren't there, but Philadelphia, I believe, has a near 26% K rate against lefties lately. They strike out against lefties some of the most throughout the entire year, and you can kind of see why going through their K rates. You can make the argument that Rhys Hoskins hits lefties worse than righties. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent matchup. If he's indeed able to miss a bunch of bats, then yeah, he's a really good pivot at the very least off of Chris Archer.
Yeah, I think the swinging strikes to me definitely jumped out, as did just how bad some of the Phillies hitters have been lately. Nola hasn't gotten a hit in a week. Hoskins hasn't gotten a hit in like a week or so, for the most part, just not getting many hits. Alther's in the lineup, and he's a good value price-wise, but I don't think he's going to do a lot of damage for them. Really only Cabrera is the only guy who's been generating offense, little Carlos Santana, but I think it's all manageable for Steven Matz, and that would be my hope tonight. That said, I did go with Trevor Richards the other day too, because of the deeper dive guys, and that didn't work out versus Philly, but this time we're going to get him. This time we're all going to.
Yeah, I was right there. So Joey Bat's in there. You've got Kingery, Alfaro, pitcher spot. I mean, looks pretty good to me. So, yeah, I think Matz does have some strikeout upside, and I would have never even said that like a month ago.
Yeah, Tim Johnson saying no, stack the Phillies. Hey, you know what? That's a perfectly viable argument to make too, given that Matz is not getting a great chase rate, and you know he is still Steven Matz, and the numbers overall aren't as great as they've been his last couple weeks. But hey, whatever. Got to make your choices. Got to make your stands somewhere. So you can make yours there, Tim.
Yeah.
Let's see. Come on with the lineup, Yankees. Yeah, I guess the Yankees lineup still not officially out. Mariners lineup has been confirmed though, if that's new. Maybe no.
Is that the last one?
No, I think Yankees still pending.
Okay.
They're just chilling out in Seattle, taking their time.
I'm gonna run one more crunch here, and then I'll have my exposures, I think.
I'm gonna look at this Cubs game and hope that the weather's gotten better.
Right.
It's yellow. It's mostly yellow. I feel like yellow is not. You shouldn't run away from yellow.
We already did home run picks. Canal. We did. Who did I pick? Jesus.
You picked Chris Davis with a K.
That's right. And you picked.
And Josh picked Ozuna, and I picked Lorenzo Cain. So those are the three big dog home run picks for the day. Put them in the bank. Put him in the Steven Matz bank. I'm sure that's going to go well.
Yeah, that's never failed before.
No, never.
Stars and scrubs with pitchers on DK tonight. I mean, that's what I'm doing for a lot of them. I've got mostly Snell, but I do have some Corbin and some Carrasco. And then I just have a mixture of the cheap guys that we've talked about. So the Daniel Norris's, Chris Bassett, Heath Fillmyer, and who's the last one that I'm missing? Oh, Gonzalez. What are you doing with Bundy, by the way?
I have a little bit of him. I am not really stacking against him. I have a small bit of him. I think I don't feel great about it. I actually had one lineup too where it was like Bundy and Gausman, and I'm like, God, both of you. I just hate you. You're both shitty Orioles pitchers who are still at heart shitty Orioles pitchers. But yeah, no, I'm playing a little bit of Bundy, but not a lot, and not really going with any Rays.
Yeah, I'm playing some Rays. I have right now 10% Bundy as my lineups are coming close to getting to 150, and that's where I'm comfortable at. He's just so volatile. He's not someone I want to miss out on. Like he's one guy that's you want to play volatile pitchers on this slate. You want to play Chris Archer and Steven Matz that can kind of break the slate if they're on their top game. And Bundy's certainly one of those guys. The problem is there's a lot of lefties, so I did hedge that with some Rays exposure, full stack form.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I just didn't get there this particular night. I think I have a little one-off Tommy Pham, just because he's been standing out pretty well as a hitter in his last couple outings. Ever since Osmo picked him for his home run, I feel like he really turned it around. It really meant a lot to him, spiritually, I'm sure. But yeah, no Rays for me, and a little bit of Bundy. I'm not crazy about it though. Earl Fountain asking about the Pirates. I don't have any Pirates tonight, actually. I like the Pirates often. Tonight, I just really fell in love with the possibly rained out Cubs. So that was what drove me. That and the Indians, a little bit of the Rangers, I think. But yeah, I just didn't really get to the Pirates as being one of my main teams as part of that process. I don't know. Don't really know why. Why today. And the Brewers. Obviously, a lot of Brewers, too.
I have both 7% of the Brewers and the Pirates. So there's 3 teams at 7%. Brewers, Pirates, and the Rays as far as 5-man stacks. I got 5 teams in double digits, and then the last 2 are Cubs and Nats at 5 and 3%.
Who else are you mostly fading? Because like for me, I'm thinking about it now, kind of going through the teams. I'm fading the Twins more than I realized.
Are the Twins chalky?
A little bit, at least the most recent ownership update. They're getting there. Not overall, but parts of the lineup are pretty chalky.
I see that. I have Rosario and Polanco for the most part. So full stacks, none for the Twins for me, but yes on the 2-mans. I have a bunch of Phil Meyer as well.
Yeah, I have more Phil Meyer, and I also have a little bit of Royal stacks, because as we discussed, I don't think Gonzalez is good or salvageable. But no, Twins for me. I have a little bit of Phil Meyer, but didn't really go against him. I think he's not a great pitcher by any stretch, but the Twins aren't going to be good enough, I think, to full
DK mode right now. But
is that the final ownership update now, guys? We don't know how that goes. Usually it's around this time as the final one, but if something else changes, they're being basically calculated the entire time that the slates are going. So if anything changes noteworthily enough, then they get published. But that's not something, fortunately, we know right now, T. McBee. Is it a bad idea, in your opinion, to play 3 different lineups with all cheap pitching and no studs? No, I think cheap pitching is usually a good way to go, and that's how I'm going tonight for the most part.
If you're playing like a Dodgers stack or a Red Sox stack, then or both, if you want to stack both of those guys up and double punt pitching, I don't think I would double punt with like a Bassett and a Phil Meyer or something like that. I think if I'm punting pitcher, it's going to be like someone who's got some upside, like Bundy or Archer or Matz in that range, and then the punt 4 to 5K pitcher. You want upside out of at least one of your pitcher spots, I think.
Yep, I'm with you on that too.
Pena,
I think
Pena too. Yeah, love him.
There are some nights, I think, where like let's say it's a really great Coors night and you want to get all those bats in, and like it's a really great Astros night or a really great Yankees night. Like then sure, you want to throw in 2 dog shit pitchers and hope for the best. I think that makes sense. On a night like tonight, though, I think Jake's approach is right. Like you go up to a mid-tier guy and then one cheap guy, and then you're pretty off the beaten path of the Snells and Carrascos and those guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. Not sure how hard it would be, but adding a timestamp to the updates would be a help. Sure would be, T. McBee. But
I think that's something they're looking into. It's just kind of one of those things that once things slow down, they can look at the little stuff like that more and more.
yeah, unfortunately, a lot of tech resources dedicated to the lineup builders and some of the integrations with Fantasy Cruncher and all that. So, but we're trying. It's a small team, unfortunately, but we're doing what we can. I actually don't get notifications now for the Slack when we ever have updates now. I don't know why. I muted them at some point when I was on vacation. It just stopped. I get notifications, but I don't get like an alert. I don't know what I did.
Go into the actual site notifications and click on channel settings. See if you can.
Okay. Maybe that's why.
Fix that way.
All right, well.
Nats weather very risky from our Slack chat. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I feel like we might have one more ownership update that comes out. The last one is at 6:31 Eastern, so there might be one more, T McB.
Who do you like in your Pirate stack? The lefties, mostly. It's, Dickerson. I don't know much about this Kevin Kramer guy, but batting second for 3,400 dual position eligibility. I'm in on him, and then Bell and Moran. I like down the lineup.
Oops. Let's see. Matt Carpenter, lefty on lefty, gonna hit a bomb. Sure. Let's see. Anything else? I think anything versus Daniel Norris is possible tonight. Daniel Norris could have 8 strikeouts, and I wouldn't be terribly shocked. And he could also give up. He could have like a -15 at the end of the night, and I wouldn't be shocked.
What's that?
For Daniel Norris, I feel like he could either like throw 8 Ks and have a great day and be fine, and I wouldn't be surprised, or he could give you the old Tyler Glasnow special and go -15 or so. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, exactly. Matt Carpenter, lefty on lefty, gonna hit a bomb. Sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. I'm getting alerts to my phone right now. Cubs, Nats,
Steven
delayed.
JM. Oh, what? Oh, fuck. Well, I guess that was expected. So now we pray. Now I pray.
Now we pray.
Stephen JM asking, are the White Sox lefties being overlooked? We haven't talked much White Sox. What are you doing with those boys tonight?
I'm not playing them. I mean, I'm going to have some Polka, but the lefties aren't guys that I'm super interested in. I mean, if you want to throw in Moncada, sure. But yeah, I'm playing a ton of Pena. So maybe I should be hedging, but I'm not.
I do have a couple of White Sox stacks, not a huge amount, but I do think they've been hitting pretty well. And I particular Davidson, I picked him for a home run a couple of days ago because he has been kind of on a tear. And I happened to watch one of their games too, and I was like, he just looks like he's good, which is not the right choice. But I think the data backs out that Pena does, at least in the past, has been much worse. And the thing to me with Pena too is like, so he's been having better results, but his swinging strike rate is down even worse. It's down to 6.3% his last couple weeks. His Ks per 9 are down to 5.5, but for some reason he's not giving up home runs. He's still giving up the same amount of hard contact. It seems to me like Pena's due to get flipped one of these games. I don't know if the White Sox are the team to do it, but I do not feel comfortable playing Pena at any volume tonight.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, I'm not like all in on Pena, but he is one of my higher exposed pitchers.
Looking at it now, it would not shock me given all the things like that are pointing. Like he's had a couple of good outings in a row, but boy, he does seem like he's due to get hit hard one of these. Yeah. Is the Cleveland stack too chalky for you, Jake?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I expected it just to be too chalky because you can fit in the guys that are near the bottom of that lineup, or I guess the middle of that lineup as well. So, how's our connection doing, by the way? My computer's making a lot of noise here.
I think we're okay. I'm hearing you fine.
All right, just making sure. It sounds like it's working pretty hard over here, so didn't want to lose you.
No, we're good for once.
Yeah, so the way I'm attacking the Cleveland stack is playing the two-mans. Again, Lindor and Ramirez always pop up for me. No Michael Brantley in there. Hurts a little bit, but it just makes it easier for me to not want a full stack. The Indians, Marco Estrada relies on that changeup, and that's obviously going to be a good pitch to lefties, or an effective pitch if he's got it working.
Yeah, I like the full stack of Cleveland and definitely have a fair amount of that. But for me, actually the two-man that I went to was a Lindor-Kipnis pairing. Because Kipnis has been hitting pretty well lately. He's a little overpriced for Jason Kipnis, but at least according to the most recent ownership projections that I put in here, him being at under 5% compared to the rest of that stack, which is all above 10% for the most part, I think that makes Kipnis a pretty interesting little play. Even if he is, I don't want to pay 4,500 for Jason Kipnis too many times, but in this matchup versus Estrada, sure, why not?
What time?
Indians with an Archer stack for Amos, sure. I feel like all of our replies to Amos are sure. Yeah, why not, Amos? Go for it, buddy. That does make sense. Probably a little chalky, but it does make sense.
Looks like Jake in a CD motel. I won't get killed. This is my house. It's getting renovated here at some point. So I don't think I'll die at my own house. But.
The critical nature of the internet. They'll just find something to tear you down. Random things in the background. They'll be like, what? Why do you have that thing on your couch?
Yeah.
What a loser door to have. Only gays have that door. That's a fucking internet commenter thing to say.
Yeah, that would be something that someone would leave on the comments. It's like, what are you saying here?
Classic YouTuber approach. YouTube comments are... Kershaw chalk is. I don't think Kershaw's going to be chalk, but what are you doing with Kershaw tonight, Jake?
Kershaw's not chalk. Kershaw, he's not someone I eliminated from my player pool. Let's see if I ended up with any of him. 4 Kershaw lineups out of 150.
And Kershaw under 10% ownership right now is well projected, so not chalk. Definitely not chalk.
He's not chalk. I'm just worried about like Arenado and Story and LeMahieu to some extent, just enough for me to want to be off of Kershaw. So different slate, I would have more interest, but it's not like you can pair him with Blake Snell or Carrasco and have a decent looking lineup. I'm going with the more expensive bats.
So I did play some Kershaw as the pivot, as one of my pivots to the more expensive guys, just because obviously people tend to shy away, and Coors, and justifiably so, Kershaw this year too, not been the best. I'm a little afraid of Story, was really helpful and made me feel smart. But to me, I think they can get beaten by Kershaw, and I think it's a pretty interesting spot to go with a lower ownership pitcher who we do know has very elite stuff, even if he hasn't shown it quite as much this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I understand the play. I just didn't end up there myself. I mean, if someone's like, oh, I have 25% Kershaw or I have 40% Kershaw, take the stand. If he's vintage Kershaw, that is a discount on him. But, yeah, I'm just not going there.
And I think Arenado being hurt, too. I mean, we discussed this, I think, last time I was on with Jake. But I've been mostly fading Arenado because once I saw that he's had shoulder problems, and then watching him, he drove the ball pretty well the other day when Story had his 3 home runs, because I actually watched that whole game. So he's getting there, maybe improving a little, but I don't think he's fully there yet. So I'm okay mostly. No, I'm not afraid of Arenado right now, which I'm sure will bite me in the ass when he takes Kershaw yard tonight. But we'll find out. Jason Kelly loves Archer with a full Indian stack and a 3-man Oakland on FanDuel. Are you playing FanDuel tonight, Jake?
I mean, if you can do that on FanDuel, that's reason enough to do it. I'm not on the Indian stack, but no, I'm not playing FanDuel, so I won't be doing that. If I was doing something like that on DK, it would be in the form of a 5-man Oakland with a 2-man or 3-man Indians.
I think that makes sense. The Gifted asking about Garrett Cole, another guy we haven't talked about. Matchup versus Boston, but a Boston team that's been fairly cold lately, and obviously the total not that great by Boston standards. Any interest in Garrett Cole tonight?
No. I know Lofty talked about him. Like, this is a discount you're getting on Cole, but I'm just worried about anyone going into Boston to face this Red Sox team. Like, he doesn't have the advantage against Betts, Benintendi, and JD, I don't think. I mean, you can make the case maybe against one of those 3 guys, certainly not Betts, but like Moreland's going to be tough for him. Bogarts is just a good hitter, and he's cheap. Kinsler's a good hitter. The bottom of that lineup isn't great, but I have interest in the Boston stack. So that's where I'm at on this game, and no Cole for me.
Yeah, I think I have maybe 1 or 2 one-off Benintendis because I do like the lefty-righty matchup with Cole and how Benintendi's just general skill set more than anything. But besides that, I didn't get to Boston stacks and I didn't get to Cole. To me, there are just some matchups that are a little bit of an immovable object versus the unstoppable force kind of thing. And not that these are so super elite teams on both sides, but I do think it is a matchup where they both their strengths negate each other's strengths. And to me, that's just not a spot I want to go after, especially on a slate this big. I don't need that.
That's fair. I mean, yeah. So that's the reason I'm on them. You just said the slate's so big, people are going to avoid Boston, and even if it's getting whatever twice the field, if they're 3% owned, even if it's getting twice the field, I think that's worth it. I just such a high upside team. How many times have we seen them break the slate before? They're just so good.
People talking a Snell no. I don't think you can need that Snell no, Steven Taylor. You might want to set the bar a little lower than a no-hitter.
I think a complete game shutout with 2 hits and 12 strikeouts will get you there just fine.
And then, of course, of knowing DFS and how DFS goes, that means that who in the Orioles is going to have like a 3 home run night? It's going to be Joey Rickard's going to have 3 home runs tonight and completely blow up Snell.
I mean, it's not like Snell is immune to a blow up. Not a blow up this year, but in his past, the old Snell maybe at Chalk, I wouldn't be comfortable playing him here. But this year, he has not really had the big blow up. Like, he just looks incredible, and he goes so quick when he's on, and he knows it. He's just mowing down everyone, just trying to get his next pitch as quick as possible. 81 pitches, all strikes, right? I'd say it's closer to that than 10 earned runs.
Sure.
Maybe he'll throw the Maddox shutout in this one. The under 100 pitches gets the CGSO.
If it's not impossible in this match, I think I can live with it. But maybe not 10 less, but 5 to 10, let's say.
Yeah, no, I mean, even if you got 10 less, like let's say Matz gets you 23 and Snell gets you 33, you're still fine if you played Matz.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. You can make
All
that
comes
up.
down to the bats.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the bats, as it always does. Someone always goes nuke on these Friday night 14 gamers.
Who is your favorite one-off third baseman under 4,500 on DK?
Favorite $4,100 first baseman?
4,500. 4,500.
On DK? Oh, Matt Olson.
Yep.
Matt Olson.
I would go with Longoria. I have a couple one-off Longorias. I think he's the only guy on the Giants lineup who's actually good right now.
Wait,
and going against Anderson.
Did you say third baseman or first?
Third.
Oh, I said Matt Olson. I thought you said first.
Whoops! I just didn't even pay attention.
Third baseman. No, the Longoria call. That's pretty contrarian. Interesting. Man, that's tough. I guess I would have to open up DraftKings and whatever. My computer's going too slow. I'll just scroll down.
Suck it, Kyle. Once. No pick for you. No, just pick Longoria. Don't worry about it.
$4,500 or less.
Yep, that was his request.
Matt Chapman. Yeah. Love
Matt
the
Chapman,
O's.
yeah.
Or I guess the A's. Oakland A's. O's? A's?
Not the O's. Do not love the O's.
I do not love the O's. I hate the O's, in fact.
DJ Dog asking any Giants versus Anderson. DJ Dog, that is actually why I landed on Evan Longoria, was I wanted to get to a full stack, didn't like the Giants enough, and just said, fuck it, I'll take Longoria. that was literally my approach. So that is the only reason that I like the Giants, and the only reason I like Longoria, rather. Chase Anderson's not good.
Nelson Cruz shares, yes. I do have some Nelson Cruz shares. Not a lot. I actually have a lot of Yankees two-mans, so I'm hoping Paxton's pretty chalky. Everyone's waiting for the late-night hammer, and I get that leverage off of Paxton.
Oh, apparently Chapman is over 4,500?
On DK? He's 4,500.
Apparently. Oh. I don't know. Kyle Wentz is complaining.
What?
Oh, under. So I guess under 4,500 he meant like not 4,500 and under. I feel like you're the only person who's ever actually said it like that, Kyle Wentz. Usually you give the price and including the top part of the price.
Yeah, that's not my fault. Whatever. I'm not taking accountability.
Go with Longoria
then. All right. So if you got to go under 4,500, I mean, I'm staying out of that Cubs game. Otherwise, I would say Chris Bryant.
God damn it. Play Chris Bryant.
I like Andujar as leverage. I like Andar.
Ooh, Patrick Wisdom. Patrick Wisdom, I think, is an interesting play. I like that Joe Dyer. I have a little bit of Patrick Wisdom tonight.
Wisdom, nice. I'll use some.
Sean V going Garrett Cole and Felix Pena. I still disagree with the Felix Pena play, even though I have a little bit of him. But sure, that's a play. Who are your favorite pitchers overall, Jake? Who are you owning the most, I guess, now that you've done your final crunches?
Yeah, so I'm just uploading it right now, and then I'll get to it. Favorite pitchers. All right, here's where I ended up. Snell, 38%. Archer, 35%. Pena, 25%. So 3 guys in the article from earlier today. Then Matz, and then the cheap guys. So Gonzalez, Norris, Philmeyer, Bassett. Bundy ended up with 6% Paxton, 5% Corbin, 3% Carrasco. I'm kind of worried about that because if Snell falters at all, I think Carrasco's the one that could catch him in terms of raw points. 3% Kershaw, 1 share of Tanaka.
Okay. Not a lot of Tanaka. I mean, I didn't get Tanaka either. And as Rhino DFS points out, a lot of guys on the Mariners who hit Tanaka pitch types well. Tanaka does give up home runs, so I think that is certainly a place to look and maybe avoid for him. But I usually don't mind Tanaka too much. I don't know.
I mean,
he's sneaky sometimes.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Tanaka had a good start here. It's a good park, and he's got crazy swing and miss stuff when he's on. I mean, his splitter is basically unhittable when he's throwing it in the correct counts and getting ahead. He's just got trouble with walks, and I think he's a little bit overpriced for a team that doesn't have much swing and miss on their side.
Kevin Zoe going with Nola and Daniel Ross. I like the Nola pick. I always like Nola, and I think especially in a spot where people are going to guys like Snell, I think Nola's an interesting pivot point. So I like Nola. And Ross, look, Ross is a dice toss. We're playing craps with Ross tonight.
You really, I mean, if Ross is your guy, okay, but why wouldn't you go elsewhere? A game that's already delayed. You know the Nats have a quick trigger as far as postponing games. I mean, I wouldn't even consider Ross. There's 3 guys that are cheaper than him that I like way more, and Norris, who's $1,000 more or $100 more.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Ross is likely to get blown up, but hey, sure, why not? If you want to play the weather game with me, anybody who wants to play that game with me and ride out the weather, I support that no matter what side you're taking. Let's all go down together. Let's all play the violins on the Titanic.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Nola. I agree. I mean, I agree, Sean B. It's not like you're an idiot. It's not like I'm going to be like, wow, you're an idiot for playing Aaron Nola. Never. He's awesome, as is Corbin, as is Carrasco. But you got to make decisions. You can't play all these guys unless you're trying to stack up. I don't even know. Can you make a stack with like Corbin and Snell? Can you?
Probably
do that?
not.
Like, could you fit in a Tigers, or you could probably do it with the Mets? You could probably fit in a Mets stack. But you'd literally. Yeah, I mean.
Somebody bad. You could definitely stack somebody bad with them. Yes, I'm sure.
You would have to stack against one of the top guys, right? So you'd have to stack like the Blue Jays. You'd have to stack the Marlins or
Baltimore.
The Orioles. Yep, the Orioles, Tigers. Although I don't even hate the Tigers stack. So there's probably ways to do it. I maybe ended up with a lineup like that, but not on purpose.
DJ Dog asking Polanco or Kane. One off for me. It's Kane. Kane's my home run pick. I'm riding Kane down to the ground tonight. What are you doing, Jake? Polanco or Kane?
Polanco or Kane. I think as a one-off, I think I would go Kane.
Yeah, all right, Team Kane. Cole is 10,200 is where I have to settle. Look, Sean V, I'm with you there. That's why I ended up with so much Kershaw. So gotta land where you land if you believe in your bats.
Oh yeah. Oh, Yankees lineup.
Oh, there you go. Anything interesting?
Let's see. It is basically as expected. Although someone's missing. It's Gregorius.
Ah.
Okay. So that's not. I mean, that's probably a little bit of an upgrade for Paxton, even though you're getting a lefty out of there. Echeverria does strike out a little bit more than Gregorius, if I remember. Say it, Jake. Ross is a dumb play. Not a play I would make. I'm trying to learn every day and get better. I'm not the DFS god to say that something's a bad play.
I don't think Ross is a great play, but I think that there is so much variance in baseball in particular with the pitchers that you might as well, I would never begrudge anybody playing Ross because would it surprise me if Ross were the guy, it somehow survived the rain and Ross threw 6 Ks and whatever, and that was enough to win somebody a tournament. Nothing surprises me at this point after having played this many tournaments over the course of so many months.
Yeah.
Dude's coming off Tommy John's. Hey, look, everybody's getting Tommy John now. It's not stopping some of us like Shohei Ohtani.
Did you see Kopech?
I did see that.
God, that's so disappointing.
Downer. I wasn't on him as much of the DFS community was, so I kind of don't feel the same personal impact with it. But it's a downer whenever a guy is an elite arm and then he's already out.
Right. You see the talent and it's man, this guy's gonna be sick, and now he's set back for maybe all of next year too. Probably all of next year. Is he gonna be ready in 2020? It's Jesus. And then is he gonna be the same after that? That just sucks.
Yeah, Tommy John's tough. That's one that science has not quite figured out. Paxton and Archer on DK. That's fine. Elizabeth, carry on. I think you're fine. Would you go Geyer, Bonifacio, or Alter?
Altair? Geyer, Bonifacio, or Altair? I think I would go Bonifacio. He's got the best matchup against Gonzalez, who's been terrible. I'm playing Gonzalez, but I don't feel great about it.
I like Geyer as part of a Cleveland stack, so I'd probably go Geyer. Lamar Mustang's going to go play Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go's having a weird renaissance for some reason, I've noticed, and I'm not ready to get back in there. That was fun for a week, maybe a couple months. Let's see, anything good? We got 1 minute left to lock. Get your lineups in. Get your Tommy John surgery requests in. Get all the important stuff ready to go. How much you playing for football on Sunday, Jake?
How much volume?
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll probably end up being more than I should. They have an early only mini max. They have a afternoon only mini max. So I'm gonna make crunches for both of those, and it'll probably end up being a few $100. Probably it might be $600-700. I don't know.
Oh, you're going big on NFL. I was saying to Josh yesterday, I do like all of the max 20s that have some pretty decent prize pools for that.
For sure.
Week 1's always a good time too. I do feel like for football every year the advantage you have is weeks 1 through 3, and after that everybody's pretty smartened up. But weeks 1 through 3 there is some easy money out there to be had.
Yeah, I think there's just more easy money. It's just more evident, but there's definitely casuals playing all 17 weeks.
Yeah, I might have to play some early slate and afternoon slate action too. While the getting's good. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. You should talk to Tom about that. He's really good at leveraging playing all the slates and kind of
I know.
He's just he's a good person to talk to in general, and you have access to him, so
I remember that from NBA when I had so many painstaking lineups that I would see Tom just sail by sometimes. I'm excited for NBA. That's the one I think really going to be good. But NFL, I feel like if this doesn't go well for me with NFL, I've done so much fucking research. I can't tell you the amount of research and poring over numbers and reading media shit I've done. If I get killed this week, I'm going to be very sad. Moderately sad. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. So you're playing the 20 maxes? What else?
Yeah, I'm playing mostly 20 maxes. I'm sure I'll put 5 into the Millionaire Maker too, because how could you not? How can you not? But I think I'm in.
Oh, really? That's a lie. I am. I only tickets though. So I think I have 8 or 9 tickets. So whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just pick 8 or 9 random lineups and throw them in there.
Yeah, just go super contrarian, see how it shakes out. Yeah. It's fun. I don't know. Football's the fun one. It's fun until your lineup is slowly sliding backwards as some asshole team gets 4 touchdowns or some running back on you didn't even fucking consider. It's always the worst.
Yeah.
And he's actually, science has been figuring out Tommy John out. Pitchers coming back relatively easily without losing much compared to years back. There you go. But still not a fast enough time. Let's get it to a week injury. Let's work on that, everybody.
That is advanced.
Just turnaround time has to be stronger. All right, that's enough for this week. We'll be back on Sunday. Jake will be back tomorrow morning with EMAC doing a little baseball strategy video for a Saturday. So if you are playing a weekend slate, they will be your guys. We'll also have some content coming out there, of course, the same usual written content and all that to expect. The email as well, the daily game plan will be out with a special little promo code tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled. If you are a subscriber there's going to be a deal if you are not a premium member. So keep your eyes peeled there. As I mentioned, we will be live on Sunday. We'll be doing 2 live before lock shows, 1 at 11 Eastern with Laffy and I believe Ben, but I don't remember who the second person is offhand. And then Josh and I will be live at 12 p.m. Eastern doing the final prep for NFL, doing some crunches, doing some bullshit. It's 9 a.m. here. I might drink a beer at 9 a.m. just because it's football season. So we'll find out how that goes. Jake, anything else that I missed?
Do you want to give away the promo code from the process show? Eric B is asking.
No, use the one from the daily game plan. Use the one for the daily game plan is daily game plan. And if you use that, it is a 1-week trial that is free.
I thought it was.
So go.
Okay. There you go.
I think, right? I'm pretty sure
right.
it is, right?
That's right. There was another one we had for the strategy show as well.
Which I think was also a 1-week free trial.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So they're all 1-week free trials. But yes, daily game plan, do that because we don't have one for live before lock. But Jake and I work on the email, so we'll take the credit there. But yeah, daily game plan, sign up with that promo code to get 1 week free. Tomorrow, Fantasy Cruncher thing will be hitting as well. I'd keep your eyes peeled for information on that. I don't really know how we're going to disseminate that, but watch the Twitter, watch the website. There'll be something coming up on that very shortly. And that's it. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again soon.